You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Probably not as terrible as my own, though. Oh, these indie games. Can we even call it indie game anymore? Like, there's so many tiers. I think we need to make a new tier of game. Yeah, I think we have a name for it. I think it's called shitty games. But then nobody wants to come and watch a show about Shitty Corner. Anyways, let's roll these games. Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and game. Oh, wait. This jungle, it's Jungle Z, and they only have zombies and death. This is making for a lot of zombie games this month. Didn't we already cover a bunch last week? Hey, you know what? That guy who's always yelling objection at everything? Well, that trilogy of games is now available to pick up. Good little packet. I can't say I'm finding good things to say about this game. It's in space, so there's that. It's another one of those survival games, just no zombies. Instead, you get the cold emptiness of space. Kinda like the heart of a woman scorned. Ever promised a lady you'd bring her back chocolate and then totally forgot? Oh boy, good luck getting her to speak to you again. Here's a simple little arcade shoot 'em up, and apparently there's only one button to control everything. That makes it sound pretty hard. Like, really hard. I had to do a triple take here to make sure this was actually an officially licensed product, and I still hardly believe it, but apparently it is. This looks like a new type of game heavily inspired by Tinder. There's swiping involved, and well, we all know how much banging there is in the TV show, but I don't think there's banging in this game. It might be a good little time waster as you wait between each week's episode. Now here's the type of game I can get behind. More food games, please. This trailer is super confusing though. I'm seeing food and stuff, but then there's also like random toilets popping up and stuff. Like, what the hell? Alright, so you start off as a shitty roach-infested restaurant, and you have to build your way up to a world-class platinum star experience. Oh, I like the sound of this. It looks like it sucks though, but hey, the concept sounds pretty promising. An educational game. What is this? School? So it's a game to learn how to draw kanji, which should be helpful if you ever plan to move to Japan. Or, you know, if you just like to entertain yourself with this kind of stuff as a hobby. I mean, to each their own. I'm growing strawberries on my porch for way more than it costs to just grab a basket at the grocery store. So hey, fun doesn't mean it needs to make sense. Oh, this looks like a good time of shooting and destroying everything while dodging shit. And it's got that superior retro 16-bit graphics. Way better than that simpleton 8-bit style. Alright, if you're looking for something a little bit more chill, there's Silence, which looks like one of those highly acclaimed games because they make you cry. It does have some pretty cool graphics and looks like you fight some weird bug-like creatures. It's also a point-and-click adventure game if you're wondering how to actually play this. Time for an arcade archive. Wow, it's so early this week. This one is Time Pilot and looks a whole lot like Asteroids. Wow. This week isn't feeling too strong, let me tell ya. But onward, we must move on. So here we have Slime Tactics, which is a tactical game with slimes. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing when a game can be summarized so effectively just through its title. Oh man, do I have to cover this game? It looks like it still needs a lot of love before we talk about it. Not even playing it. Alright, so maybe it's not so much the game that hurts, but this trailer. Oh, it's so badly designed. Says here the game was originally made in 1984 and was a pioneer in action RPG. Oh, how far we've come. Remember what I said about games that can describe themselves just through their title? Well, here's another one of those. Align the boxes, win the game, you know? Here's another solid entry for the week, Doggy Ninja, The Golden Mission. A game about destroying blocks as ninja doggies. Alright, let's move on. More space! This is one of the slowest shoot 'em ups I've ever seen. There's also some fast segments, it looks like. Is there at least more than one button in this one? It says here that yes. Oh, what an upgrade. Alright, so it's slow because it's also a color match puzzle game. Ah, that makes sense. Not for me either way. Vaporum, not to be confused by Vapor Rub. You definitely don't want to rub this one on your chest. This one is a steampunk-styled grid-based dungeon crawler RPG. A very old school Magica view. Anyone else remember those games? Just me? Alright. Apparently, this is the game everyone is going on about this week. That is the must-play game. It's got some Horizon Zero Dawn vibes to it, but it totally isn't that. So you can play as a girl, and it's based in Norse mythology. I mean, it looks pretty and all, but when most people talk about a game's looks before its gameplay, one of my eyebrows tends to go up a little. It can be pretty all it likes, but if it's pretty boring, that's just no fun for anyone. Oh, this is looking like my type of game graphically, and it's got some pretty cool music in the trailer too. It looks like a pretty standard brawler, except you just use one hand to fight everything, which is kind of insane. So it's got a rhythm element to it as well. This seems to be another big hit this week based on the internet chatter. Try playing this game on some drugs. It's probably a crazy time, as this game looks trippy enough as it is. So you're in a dream world and you have to guide the sleepwalking dude back to his bed by quickly solving the puzzles. There's a lot of super retro games coming back to the Switch, or at least like super retro inspired. Shadowgate was apparently a well-known and beloved adventure title, and now it's being remade from the ground up and brought over to the Switch, along with a million other adventure games. Great if you're a fan, I guess. Sports! Oh my god, they don't even have arms or legs. Yikes, well if you're down for some one-on-one Rayman-like basketball, this might tickle your pickle. Remember back when Mario Galaxy had those really hard roll your ball to the flag levels? How about a whole game around that mechanic and dial the difficulty up to 10? You know you want that, so here you go. This has some pretty strong Undertale vibes crossed with some Japanese craziness. The trailer doesn't explain itself so well, so let me clear it up. You have to catch hearts, crush bunnies, and shoot the bad, whatever that means. Why are we crushing bunnies though? That sounds very unhealthy to our psyche. Lastly, we have a darkroom, a text-based adventure game. Wow, anyone who gamed during the 80s must be loving this week's episode. We've gone so retro that I wouldn't have even been born around the time this style of game was hot. Cool way to introduce the kids to an older kind of game though, I suppose. That was a pretty mad week, folks. I mean, I've seen worse, but I've also seen better. Looks like there was more catering to an older audience here versus the really young one, or worse, the mobile crowd. Here's to next week being better. Until then, keep it classy.